Hello everybody, it is Jenny with Senior Perspective on Sister Wives. I just got finished watching episode 5. I have lots of thoughts, so let's talk about it. Okay everybody, this episode is called The Year of Release. Releasing wives, releasing secrets, releasing the marriages. But it starts off first with Mykelti and Tony. They are talking about how Kody and Robyn are coming to visit. Now, Robyn was there when the babies were born. Kody said he had to stay home to get Ari and Sol to school. Are they not 10 and 12 years old? I don't understand why a neighbor can't take them. I don't understand why a friend can't pick them up and take them. I don't understand why one of the 3 20-year-olds that live in that house and drive cannot take them to school. Anyway, somehow magically, somebody must be watching them now. In our live chat, as we were watching it, we decided it must be the nanny. Betting there's still a nanny around, even though they're in double-digit ages. When I was 10 years old, I was already babysitting. I was. When I was 10, because I remember thinking, oh, I'm happy that I'm in double digits because I feel so much older when I watch the kids across the street. I mean, was it right or not? I don't know, but I was. I bet they still have their nanny there taking care of them. Anyway, maybe it was just on the weekend for a day. So there's a whole dumb placenta conversation. Now you're going to talk about it. Don't care. It's fine. Although now that everyone's talking about it and how it's cool and it's so great, Robyn has to throw in this.
Okay, well, I'm going to shock you all. I was the first one to do it.
Okay, I was first. I have something to say. Anyone, please pick me. I was first. Okay, I was first. Don't care, Robyn. Don't care. But there were 2 kind of funny parts that were in there, both relating to Kody. One, they come in, Kody has a baby. He's so proud of himself that he was able to identify which one it was. We get the same line, they're fraternal twins. It was probably mentioned 100 times. Right after they were born, they look nothing alike. One has dark hair, one has red hair. Like blatant, right off the bat. Completely different. One's a little chunkier, one is thinner. They have completely different personalities. These kids are nothing alike. They're not even close to identical twins, but Kody's so proud that he was able to figure out which one was which. Good job, Kody. You were able to tell the difference between the red-headed child and the dark-haired child. Brilliant.
Okay, let's see.
Who's your dad?
Hold on. I think this is Archer.
You would be
That's
correct.
right.
Yeah, you can totally tell who's who. One's a little chubbier, one has red hair, one's a little thinner, has lighter hair. Different personalities, different everything.
Anywho, he sits down and right away, Mykelti says to Robyn, oh, Avalon here wants to give you a hug. And Robyn, because Robyn had a baby too. And so Robyn's like, all right, let me give you a hug, Avalon, and that. And Mykelti goes, and Grandpa too? Why don't you want to go give Grandpa a hug? And she's just sort of staring at him like, no, it's kind of scary.
She wants a hug.
Oh, you love me. You. Should I hug Grandpa?
Hey, Chicklet, can I have a hug? Hi, do I get a hug?
You want to go to Kody?
What about Knuckles?
I do not want to hug him. I do not want to leave your lap and go anywhere near this man who clearly has not spent a lot of time around Avalon.
Hey, Chicklet, can I have a hug?
Out of the mouth of babes. But then Kody starts talking in his delusional state that apparently 2 years ago this started. He was talking about moving to some big home that they found somewhere. Is this the home everyone's been talking about? I don't know. Kody and Robyn's house has been taken off the market anyway, probably due to the lawsuit that Christine filed. But in terms of Kody in general, no matter what house it is, he wanted to move to some big, huge house because their house is not big enough for guests. Let me look this up. I swear it's a 5-bedroom house. Hang on. Sorry. Talk amongst yourselves. Let me see here. I know I took a picture of the posting. Here it is. 4-car garage, 2-acre lot, 4 bathrooms, 4,400 square feet, 5 bedrooms. 5 bedrooms. He's only got 2 kids. They have 2 extra bedrooms. Oh wait, do the 20-year-olds still live in the house with him? Because, at 18, bye-bye.
They're adults. Bye-bye.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And as I was saying at the live, when we were watching this afterwards and we were talking about it, listen, my house is half the size of theirs. I only have 4 bedrooms in it, which I feel blessed to have a 4-bedroom house. When the kids come home and they bring their spouses, can it get a little bit tight? Yeah. Love it. It's awesome. Can't wait for all of them to have kids, and we're still going to be in the same house. Pack them in. Pack them in. The more the merrier. Somehow, every visitor must have their own room in Kody's world. So he's talking to Mykelti and Tony about buying some big old house because theirs isn't big enough for guests. 4,400 square feet, not big enough for a visitor. Too much junk in all the rooms, I guess. Oh, I saw this house and it has this back property. It got this in the back and it's got, oh yeah, that'll be great. That'll be great. For who? Crickets. Because we know the minute Brianna can get out of there, she's gone. She probably got her plans all worked up already. She's like, God, can I just graduate from college and get out of here? She's the one that does not want to live at home while she's in college. She wants to be on campus having a good old time.
Can't say I blame her.
Dayton, well, Kody's not going to let him back in the house. And I hope for Dayton that he just goes and lives by either the boys in Vegas or his dad up in Montana. So why does he need this 7 or 8 bedroom home? He thinks eventually all these kids are going to just come on back.
Come again?
How many years have we been talking about the fact that he's on the outs with his kids? More and more kids are being added to the pile of ones he's on the outs with. I think there's some obligatory visits, but I don't think anyone really wants to hang out with them. They don't need a bedroom. Nobody's coming to spend the night, Kody. So he tells Tony and Mykelti, oh, we're thinking about getting this big old house and that we're going to have all these extra rooms in that and you guys can stay there and maybe we'll have an in-law suite or something like that and you can stay there. Mykelti and Tony are like, no. Wait, let me think. No. She didn't even take a beat.
I got an idea.
Oh.
I should clear this with you.
Oh.
We should buy a big house in Flagstaff and they can move there and then we'll help them with the babies. It'd be so fun for me to have a home that Tony Mykelti could come in.
More fun for who?
It'd be so fun for me to have a...
It's all about you, isn't it? It's all about everything's about you.
For me to have a home, because it's hard to come to the house that we've got. All the rooms are filled. We have to move a kid to another room. Kids come and sleep with mom and dad.
Good heavens, perish the thought.
How do you do it? How do you do it?
And there's a house that Rob and I were looking at, and I thought that would be fun to buy, and we could have some kids or, in-laws move in with us,
Oh, somebody's got FOMO.
No, wait, no.
Come again?
No, wait, no. You guys
Really?
can buy a big house.
You guys would love it.
And we would visit you.
He's so delusional. All right, I already talked too much about a scene that really didn't have much going on with it. Oh, one more line. Let me just point out. Is it true that in these AUB sister wife circles that they would all share nursing babies and pass them around? What would be the purpose of that? I don't even understand.
We never did. That was just a joke. We never
Are you
did
sure?
that. Never.
I don't
That is
believe
not
you.
a cultural. We did not. That was
Yeah, I
joke.
strongly disagree too, but
Yeah.
I've definitely heard from other people that it was a common thing in growing up in your guys' church, that you guys would just pass around kids for breastfeeding.
No, it was a joke. That's disgusting.
Of course, Christine is like, absolutely not. Never happened. I don't know what you're talking about. Nobody's passing babies around. Then they ask Janelle. Janelle's like, listen, I wouldn't nurse anyone else's baby because my milk was never really coming in. If anything, I barely had enough, so I'm not nursing anyone else's baby. Meri admits she did on one occasion nurse another mom's child due to medical reasons. That I get. That happens in all society. I've heard of that, like a sister who might have been pregnant at the same time and the one mom is ill in the hospital that she'll nurse the baby to help. I've heard of that. I mean, I've heard of people who pump their milk and sell it.
Completely different situation.
I heard a funny story that you guys would pass around kids and breastfeed them in a big circle.
We never did. That was just a joke.
Everybody in the circle. Just get in the circle. Just get in the circle. Just...
Robyn, the one who is never in polygamy, she tells us,
wait for it,
I've seen it plenty of times in our culture.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Women would breastfeed each other's babies. And, in our culture, I've seen it plenty of times. Absolutely.
Lies. Plenty of times in your culture. How is it possible that Christine was born and raised in this faith? She had lived with polygamous families. Her school was a school for the AUB. All her friends and everyone she connected with, all polygamists. Then she married a man who was a polygamist with 2 other wives. Lived 14 years as a polygamist with them. And then Robyn enters into polygamy for the first time. And yet, Robyn somehow is seen it plenty of times from other women in the culture. What other women? She's always talking about these other women and what she's learned and seen and from these other women. They didn't attend a church after the show started. As soon as she married into the family, all they did was their own individual church in their houses. The church didn't want them part of the show. They were no longer welcome there. Who are these women? Shira, I beg you, tell me. Who are these women that you speak of? I'm just making it all up. I need a storyline for this episode. We have a very sweet, touching, and sad scene between Janelle and Gabe. Gabe, the epitome of maturity, is making breakfast with his mom, really for his mom. He's doing most of the work there, asking her how she wants her eggs, and it's just so sweet. And he's talking about his father. Janelle says how proud of him she is that at his university he sought out a counselor and is seeing somebody on a regular basis to work through things. He said that he thinks everyone in their family needs counseling. And Janelle goes, yeah, no, I agree with that. And he says, anyone's family who's exploded like ours, they should be in therapy. Janelle agrees. And then he says he sees Robyn as just a victim at all times. He said that she has a victim complex, in his opinion, but he doesn't blame her. He said that basically it's her survival technique. What were his words? He said, it's her strategy to keep afloat. Interesting point of view. Not sure I agree with him, but interesting. I wonder if his therapist kind of threw out this idea to him to try to get him to not have so much hate towards Robyn. To say, listen, here's a woman who's stuck with this horrible man. She may be horrible too, but he's more horrible. And he at least spreads the horror around to all these wives, but now all the other wives have left. So they kind of live this life of her trying to, well, yeah, I can't use that analogy. So he's horrible, more horrible than she is. Both horrible. But she's trying to cope, having to live in the same house with Mr. Horrible Man 24/7 for the past few years. So being a victim is her way to stay afloat. You could almost buy it right now, except that she's been a victim ever since she came into the family, so.
Take it back. Take it all back, every word!
The other thing Gabe shared, and again, I think he worked through this in therapy too. He said that he misses Robyn's kids, and he wished that they could be close again. The 3 older ones, anyway. He mentioned the 2 younger ones. So the 3 older ones, which are around his age, he wished that they would be close again, but he doesn't blame them for towing the party line, which is such a mature thing to say. It really is. It's saying, listen, Dad and Robyn may be horrible and horrible. Horrible and horribler.
That's not a word.
And they're telling all this stuff that's contradictory to what the rest of the family is saying. But that's all the kids know. That's mom and dad. Until they really can separate, live somewhere else for a year or two, hear other opinions and points of view, watch the show on their own, they're just going to believe what mom and dad tell them because it's their mom and dad. I get that these older kids are in their 20s. I get that. They should know better. But I think maturity and emotional development-wise, they're nowhere near my 20-year-olds. They're nowhere near my 20-year-old who just turned 20 this month. Not even close from everything we've seen on the show. So they have so much growing up to do when they can finally break away and get out of that house. So anyway, I'm seeing where he's coming from. Like, I get it. I don't blame them. Can you imagine being under the tutelage and under the same roof with Kody and having to tell him, I don't agree with you? Are you going to side with those people when it makes him so angry? We've seen angry Kody during interviews. Calm, quiet, sit on the couch interviews.
And have a rift in our relationship caused by these people. She hasn't been talking to me. I shrug my shoulders because I'm not going to be fooling around with a woman who's talking about leaving me. I don't have a head wife in this family. This argument, this disparity in relationship with my children is specifically because of talk. It's been her telling me how she felt about them.
Why are you so angry?
He's losing it. Can you imagine what this man is like on the daily basis in his house? What a nightmare. Until they get jobs and can get out of there, they're stuck. I mean, they should have jobs by now, right? Please tell me that they have jobs. Does anyone know if these kids have jobs? Is Aurora graduated from college yet? Isn't she 23 or 24? Shouldn't she be graduated from college? Maybe this is her senior year. Maybe it's her breakout year. Break out, break away.
Run, little one! Run, run, be free!
Of course, you know, Kody's gonna want her and whoever she ends up marrying moving into their house. Can't stand to be alone. Now, Kody goes on and on about how great Robyn is again, ad nauseum. We're not gonna replay it. Like, please. It's like you can take the same clip and just replay it in every episode. He repeats himself constantly. But here's a new nugget that he shared with us. He says that the last couple times, in his defense of Robyn, the last couple times that Robyn was talking to Janelle, she was saying, let's work it out. Let's be friends with each other. And Janelle, of course, is like, no. I've never been your friend before. And now I'm on the outs with Kody. So why would I try to forge a friendship with you now? Kody so offended by this because Robyn got her feelings hurt. He's so mad.
Robyn always strongly supported my relationships with the whole family. Robyn herself, her last two conversations with Janelle.
Let's take it down a notch.
Why so angry?
Robyn herself, her last two conversations with Janelle was Robyn begging Janelle to have a relationship with her.
He's like, 2 times. She tried to be your friend now. Okay. She had over a decade. A little too late. But Kody has the nerve to say this.
Janelle's a relationship coward.
Janelle is a relationship coward. Janelle, not Kody. Not Kody who runs away from every relationship. Not Kody who's afraid to pick up the phone and have conversations with people, not just send a text. Hey, how's it going? I reached out. I sent a text. Not Kody who's unwilling to get on a plane and get his butt to see somebody. Not Kody who clearly doesn't have a relationship with Avalon anymore. Hasn't seen her since probably the last time we saw them together on the show when Mykelti brought Avalon to him. Nope. Not Kody who has about 10 or more children who he's on the outs with and he just can't figure out how to mend those relationships, so he gives up.
Pretend like they didn't even exist. Let's just move on. I don't know what to do.
Translation, I don't know what to do because they won't just come back and apologize. Even though they have nothing to apologize for, but that's been the routine our whole life. If I'm upset with the kids, they come to me and apologize, and then we move on. If I'm upset with a wife, she comes to me and apologizes, and then we move on. Doesn't matter if they need to apologize or they should apologize. This is the routine we do. And my older children are not doing it. Somehow they don't think they need to apologize. Doesn't matter if there's something they have to apologize for. That's what we do in this family. People apologize to me, and then I grant them the forgiveness, and then we move on. All Kody needs to do is pick up the phone and say, "Hey, Gabe, I just want to tell you, I'm sorry."
I mean it.
Done. Relationship mended. Gosh, it's so simple. So simple. You can't do it. But Janelle is a relationship coward because she doesn't want to be best friends with Robyn now, after she's on the outs with Kody. It's crazy. Oh my goodness. All right, what else? So I was not looking forward to the Christine and David segment, although it was brief, which was nice, and it was really sweet. Christine was she really was genuinely thrilled that this man loved her for who she was, and she was just showing her true colors.
We hit it off really, really well. And I said, you have to see, we look adorable together. I'm just going to show you. This is our second date. Look, it's cute.
And she thinks the world of him. I just thought it was so great.
God, he's just solid and he's real, genuine. And I got to just be me. And he really liked me for me. I could tell. Like, it's really solid. Like, he's a really, really good guy.
During this segment, what was interesting is Christine shared that when she came into the family with Kody, he already had 2 wives. So out of respect for him, Christine showing respect, out of respect for Kody and for the other wives, their courtship was done over the phone. She didn't do it in person. Although she had known him from years in the past, peripherally, but the actual courtship she did on the phone. Let's compare this to Robyn, who was then courting Kody after he had 3 wives. Oh, and 13 children. Mind you, no children when Christine came into the marriage. 13 children, 3 wives. So does Robyn just talk to him on the phone to get to know him out of respect for the whole family?
No.
Well, one would think she would because she lived 4 hours away, right? No. She pulled Kody 4 hours away every other weekend to come down and see her for the weekend.
Now that ain't right.
And Robyn just can't understand where the family went awry.
I don't really know what Kody wants. The last I knew, he really just thinks the kids should, let him be their patriarch. And how that would go, I think, is that they would have to conform to the way that Kody and Robyn see the world. That's how I perceive it. And I think that's how my kids perceive it too. And they just don't want any part of that.
Janelle is just dead wrong about me and patriarchy. I've never been patriarchal. I've never behaved patriarchal. I actually was just angry once when Christine was leaving and I said, hey, we're going to do this patriarchy thing, but I've never been patriarchal.
Kody thinks he wasn't patriarchal.
For 3 years now, I've been trying to explain to my wives that we were going to leave Las Vegas.
I talked with Meri. Is there any way that you and Meri and some of the boys can go right now and take this over to Meri's place and start loading her stuff?
No.
That way, okay. No? Okay. All right. That's okay. We can empty
Just forgot the
that one
prime
really
directive.
fast.
Where we go one, we go all.
You're right.
Women.
It would be nice if we could figure out at what point we could be okay to socialize as a family.
I just don't see that we're getting together.
Wow. So basically, unless we all observe his uber careful stance, forget holidays.
You can continue in the vein of your little world, but I want you to understand mine. Just a little prick to your conscience and you guys decide what you do. I am going to lead the way that I think is the right way.
He's not trying to guilt trip us?
That's all I've got to say about that. I hope everybody enjoys their Thanksgiving.
All the wives had to do things the way Kody wanted. He has no idea how much they catered to him all these years and how much the kids catered to him all these years. He has gotten his way so much, but okay, fine, let's play semantics. It wasn't patriarchal. It was a dictatorship. Oh, good word for your word of the day calendar. Here you go, Kody. Dictatorship.
I was calm and collected and said, hey, you're hurting this family, no one else. And he's like, you're something like, you're not loyal just like your mother. And I was like, okay.
You're not loyal. That's how he ends every conversation. Things don't go his way. You're not loyal. Not loyal. You don't show me respect. You're not loyal. It's all he knows what to say. Those words have become completely meaningless in the Kody universe. I don't even know what he's even trying to say anymore because they are loyal and they do show him respect. More than he deserves, quite frankly. So his words are meaningless. It's all he knows what to say. It's like you're 3 years old and you don't have the vocabulary, the words to say anything. So you just say, not my fault, not my fault, not my fault.
Not my fault.
That's Kody's. They don't show me respect. He doesn't show me respect. She's not loyal. They're not loyal. Meaningless. What he's really trying to say is, they don't obey me.
Bingo.
He's using loyalty and respect in place of obedience. They don't obey what I want. I want them to say I'm sorry. And unless they do, they're not loyal to me. They don't respect me. Not true. They're not being obedient to Kody. Janelle reflects on the fact that these are new words that he's using all of a sudden.
It's so interesting because Kody throws around this like, you're not loyal, you don't respect me. And I'm like, I'm thinking that's a two-way street, buddy. He was never like that before. He used to not ever use these words.
Apparently, in years gone by, he never threw out loyalty and respect. This is all been, which is true. We've just been hearing it like the past 3 years, right?
It was always about love and charity and work together as a team and all this. And now all of a sudden it's about loyalty and respect and disrespect and not loyal and all these things. So he's had some sort of a flip.
I do love at the end of the conversation with Gabe and Janelle that Gabe checks in with his mom. He's like, hey, how are you doing?
But how are you doing, Mom?
I'm all right. Everything is really good. I'm happy. Really, really happy.
Just such a grown-up thing for a boy to do in his 20s. I'm so proud of Gabe. Hello, sister friend. You've made it halfway through this video and I'm so glad that you're here. I just want to take a moment to let you know that when you do hit the like and subscribe buttons and leave me a comment down below, it really does help this channel. Another free way to support this channel is to share it with somebody and also click on the links below to see some of my favorite things before you do your Amazon shopping. Even if you don't end up buying them, it still helps my channel. So think of me first before you do your Amazon shopping. Thank you, I appreciate you. At one point when Gabe was talking to Janelle, he said, I got together with Dad and sat down and talked to him. And I think that he's really upset with me because I was willing to sit him and look him right in the eyes and tell him, this is your fault. And you need to take accountability to make it right. And if you don't, then I'm okay if I never see you again.
And then he kept phrasing it like I owed him an apology. Eventually I was just like, hey, unless you're actually ready to have a relationship and fix things, then we're not gonna talk anymore. He came back a couple of days later and texted me. He's like, hey, I've been thinking about what you've been saying. I forgive you. Please forgive me. I was like, forgive me for what?
And Kody didn't like that. Kody now wants an apology for those words from Gabe.
I told Dad that if he doesn't change and he can't take accountability, then I just won't ever see him again, and I'm perfectly okay with that.
And Kody's still not taking responsibility, so some things don't change.
I love my wives, I love my children, I just wanted to keep everybody safe. When I got COVID...
Kody complaining about COVID again. Do we have to bring up COVID one more time? My goodness.
When I got COVID, I did become a little bit hostile. It was like a sort of a bias from my experience. I mean, I saw the Grim Reaper. It was scary.
Hey, Grim Reaper?
So now just stop being hysterical.
You're not gonna die.
He saw the Grim Reaper. Okay. 98.7 degree temperature. Grim Reaper.
Well, before we go, we do have one example of Kody in
sort of pain. You want to call feeling sick pain, which it's not. It's feeling sick. It's a whole different thing. It's kind of being fatigued and tired. And this is how Kody reacted to that.
99.8.
A temperature of 99.8 degrees Fahrenheit is not considered a fever, as a normal body temperature can range from 97.5 degrees to 99.5 degrees. Most healthcare providers consider a fever to be 100.4 or higher.
Well, I think 6 days of COVID in the house. I feel like crap, but I don't know why it's so bad. I don't know why I'm out of my mind. I haven't slept for 3 days. I had fevers and aches and pains. I didn't even know what day it was. Trying to figure out what I can do, because I'm out of my mind. I'm just suffering in this weird place. And I kind of wish I'd admitted myself, because I do have it. No doubt about that. And maybe I need a chest x-ray. Because, my nights of sleep and my breathing sort of suck. I've gotten worse. I can't focus or concentrate. I just fought it. I just beat it. It kicked my ass, but I lived.
No.
And then when I finally get sick from COVID, that was a death-like experience.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Look. I have a normal temperature. See? I don't know how I'm getting through this, quite frankly. I have a temperature in the normal range. I have a cough. And I've been sleeping a lot. And the worst part about it, I've gone a few days now without showering. Nobody understands the sacrifices I make to hold this family together.
Kody says it like, oh, COVID was such a rough time. All these people had to go through stuff. So true. There are nurses and doctors that were working ridiculous hours, round the clock, getting no sleep, putting themselves in harm's way. There were thousands of people across the country, hundreds of thousands probably, that lost their jobs, were unemployed, didn't know where their next paycheck was going to come from. There were families that were torn apart on opposite sides of the country, couldn't get to each other, or in different countries, couldn't get out, couldn't get by each other again. There were people who literally had family members pass away and they couldn't be there with them when it happened. A lot of tragedy happened during COVID. Not to Kody. For him to try to play the victim during COVID disgusts me. He's sitting in $1 million house, hundreds of thousands of dollars coming in from TLC, plenty of money to buy whatever he wants, Uber Eats any food he wants, have the ability to pay for the technology for his kids to stay in school online, and each have their own computer. He had his whole nucleus family there with him the entire time and had the ability for his extended family to be together too, all living in the same city. And he wants to claim victimhood? No, don't even try. Don't even play with me, Kody. Gabe and Janelle both believe that COVID gave Kody the ability to lead the life he always wanted to lead. It was his excuse.
My children have really begun to express that they feel like COVID just presented an opportunity for their dad to do what he's been wanting to do for a long time, which was live and make a life with his favorite wife. I mean, let's not mince words.
To just keep Robyn and her kids together in his house and live the monogamous life with them and to keep the rest of the family at bay. That's how it worked out. But Kody's got to make it everyone else's fault that they're not getting back together again. Because that's his MO. Because he can't take responsibility.
And we're back to square one.
Just like Meri said, he kept pushing me out to the point that I would say I'm leaving. But I wouldn't say I'm leaving. I would just keep staying. So he strung me along over and over and over again because he didn't want to take accountability or responsibility for ending the marriage. So he was just going to be rotten to her until she finally left. But she didn't. She's like, nope, until you put it on camera, I'm still here. You're gonna see me in the afterlife. I'm gonna haunt you forever. We're still spiritually married. Which leads us to the part about Meri. Broke my heart again. Gabe broke my heart. Now Meri's breaking my heart. She said that after Kody officially said on camera, we're never going to be back together again. I don't see it. It's not in the cards. She said the next day she started drafting the letter to get the release from the church. Scheduled a day to go. Let Kody know about it. He didn't go.
That tracks.
Meri drives to the church, sits down with the elders.
It was a very, very hard conversation. Hard in meaning heartbreaking, because this is not what I wanted to do. This is not what I intended when I married Kody.
And when it was all said and done, the leaders of the church granted her a release based on grounds of abandonment from Kody.
He's gonna be mad.
So Kody and I are no longer married in any way, shape, or form. So there's that.
Oh, and by the way, Kody never responded to the text that Meri sent him about going to this meeting or participating in being part of the process of this release. Ghosted her. So then he gets a phone call. It's from the leaders of the church. He's riding in the car, I think he said with Robyn. Can't believe he didn't go off the road. He claims he is really upset because of some things that they said. Well, Meri let us know he doesn't like the word abandonment.
And I got a phone call from the church leader who said, we've given Meri a release. And they said a few other things that I don't want to necessarily disclose that sort of upset me.
He didn't want to abandon. That's why he played the game he did for so long. I'll just be mean and poke and poke and poke and poke and poke you until you run away. Then it's not my fault. I mean, we just saw in the last episode he was saying that it wasn't his fault that Meri left him.
And so I guess, to be fair, Meri feels abandoned. But I didn't kick me out. Christine, Janelle, and Meri all chose to have me leave the home. Now, I'm not playing the victim card. I'm just saying it's just the way that it was. And that I wasn't ever going to leave them, no matter how much I didn't love them. But they made choices that separated us. And maybe I made choices that separated us, but they eventually moved on.
He's already trying to push that narrative. Like our memories are that short. We've forgotten already what happened last season. Yeah, okay, Kody. She left you, right? She was begging to stay. That was our complaint with her. We kept saying, Meri, please go, leave his butt. She wouldn't do it. She believed in the faith. She believed in the covenant. She believed their marriage could come back. Well, Kody's stuck now, right? Because now he has officials higher than him, which is why he didn't go. He doesn't like to talk to anybody who has any kind of authority higher than his. So these guys call him up, put him in his place, explain to him the reason. They probably scolded him as part of it too. I am sure they did. I am sure they said, listen, you're an embarrassment to our faith. You are not behaving like you should. And we had no choice but to grant this to her. So you need to stop doing this. I don't even know if they knew about the other two. So now, because there's an official document saying, yeah, it was his fault, not Meri's fault, what's Kody going to do? Because we have never seen Kody take responsibility for anything. He cannot take accountability. So what does he do? He throws Robyn under the bus. Yes, his precious Robyn. He throws his precious Robyn under the bus. It is Robyn's fault for waiting on God. Oh, goodness. You can't write it.
That's your fault, not mine.
It's the only one left in his world. I mean, I guess he could have said it was Ari's fault. Or Saul's fault. Saul doesn't say two words, so he could have blamed Saul and Saul would have never defended himself. Other than that, all he had left was Robyn. It's Robyn's fault.
Robyn felt that if I waited on God, that things could change for mine and Meri's relationship. And that was advice that I took. And I waited.
He knew years ago it was over, but she said she felt God was saying they should stay. And it ends with the best line ever. Because it is something that Kody says that is so off base, more wrong than maybe anything else he's ever said. I don't know. I mean, like every other word out of his mouth is a lie, and everything is so sensational that I just sit here watching it going, Kody actually said, Meri was never loyal to me, ever. Meri, who, okay, if you follow this channel just for a little bit, you know Meri has not been my favorite person. She hasn't been. Her attitude, her way of speaking, her roughness, her gruffness, her loudness, her abrasiveness, her hanging around and just waiting for Kody to give her crumbs drove me nuts for so long. And then last season, for me, it was Meri's complete redemption arc. 2 things happened at the same time. Well, maybe even more than 2. 1, I started to understand her a little bit more. I started to understand how deep her faith was, and that's what was keeping her there. It wasn't just, I love this man so much, and I'm willing to go decades without him even touching me or holding my hand, because maybe someday he will again. That's not what it was. It was, I have made a covenant with God, and until this man releases me from it, I am bound to be his wife, no matter what that looks like. And this is what he's been making it look like for her. So how rotten is that for him to do that to her? 2, she's had a lot of therapy. It's so clear she's had a lot of therapy. Sometimes people with a lot of therapy drive me nuts. They become over-therapized and they just start spewing out therapy-ease. Is that a word? Should be if it's not, like legalese and therapy-ease. Anyway. All right, therapy jargon. Sometimes to the point that the sentences don't even make sense. They're just kind of cool words and buzzwords that people put together. But that's not Meri. She's not really doing that. She, right now, whatever counselor she's going to, is doing a really good job of getting her to dig deep, see her flaws, fix her flaws, work on them, and be able to really start to see life as it is. I think personally, her eyes are really going to open up now, starting now, that she officially has that break off and that cut off from Kody. And I'm here for it, and I'm excited for her journey. Journey. It's another one of those words. I can't believe I used it. Anyway, it is her journey. It's really the beginning of her journey, as I see it. It's like a new birth. Okay, that was a big tangent. What I was starting to say was, even amongst those rough years with Meri, where I wasn't really fond of her, the one thing she always was, and I would admit, is loyal. Loyal to a fault, actually. So loyal. Very loyal. So loyal to her faith and to Kody that she would let him string her along for over a decade. So loyal to Robyn that she would let Robyn walk all over her, take advantage of her. Loyal to the family because of her faith. Loyal to her faith. And that's not just my opinion. The other wives and Kody have all said Meri is very loyal.
I've been thinking for a long time about a piece of jewelry that would be for each of my wives. Meri is she's extremely loyal. You know, her loyalty is her gift. For me, loyalty with Meri is perfectly represented by a crown and a heart.
What about a word in here?
Oh, loyalty. So in Latin, there's the word for loyalty is fidelis.
This proves a man never knows what he's saying.
Just be honest here. I was afraid of what she would do if I ripped off that Band-Aid. It's because Meri was never loyal to me, ever.
Meri was never loyal to me, ever. Just lies. Like, couldn't be more of a 180. Just lies. Because his ego is hurt. Because the church was notified about what he's doing.
That's what I've been worried about, is just kind of reputation. Because when you get divorced, your reputation is trashed.
He really lives in his own little bubble world. He really does. He says what he wants. He just thinks people receive it in the way he intended it. And if it's mean, he doesn't care. Because he doesn't see other people as having feelings. When people say things to him, if it's not what he wants to hear, it's disloyal, disrespectful. Not even gonna entertain. We're not even gonna talk about this. That's a very typical Kody line. I'm not even gonna talk about that. Next question. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse here, but this is unbelievable to me. She's the most loyal person in the whole family. And if I saw a script and it said that that was going to be his next line, I'm like, well, you have to take that out. Like, not even Kody Brown would say that because she's a known loyal person. It's one of her most admirable traits. Oh, I don't even have words. This episode left me speechless.
For me now, my prayer was just like, save me and Robyn.
I don't care about the kids.
Not only does he disregard the whole rest of the family, not even his kids. He doesn't even care about the tenders. He doesn't care about the tenders. He doesn't care about the other 3 that live in the house. Those kids didn't care about any of the original kids, OG kids, doesn't care about his original 3 wives. My prayer to God is save me and Robyn. But the most telling thing? It wasn't, dear Lord, please save Robyn and me. It was, dear Lord, please save me and Robyn. After he's whittled away the entire family down to just him and Robyn, he's still number 1. Wait. You take the oxygen, put it on yourself first before the other people. That's how I live my life. I'm Kody Brown. Save me and her. I like this one. She's fun.
I wouldn't call it fun.
Everyone else can go. Even the little tenders are getting under my nerves. So telling. So telling. All right. And then we have a pathetic Robyn's the victim scene where she records herself miserable on Christmas Eve at 1 a.m. in her delusional state of tiredness and self-wallowing. She just complains that it's not how she pictured it, complains that it's not how it's supposed to be, complains that she wanted the big family and now they're gone. It's not fair to her. She even said, I don't get the perfect Christmas because my family's not here. I don't get all about Robyn. It's all about Robyn. I don't get the perfect Christmas because my whole family. She has 5 children there. 5, but all her biological children are there. 5 of them.
I won't have any other family around except for just me and the kids and Kody.
They're a family of 7 having Christmas together. Good size.
I want more.
And she's moaning the night before with tears and everything for the phone camera.
I won't have any other family around except for just me and the kids and Kody. I liked how they were one family. Meri told Kody she wasn't going to do Christmas with us this year because of what's going on between her and Kody. I love my kids. And so I need to make sure they still have a holiday that's special and sweet.
Oh, Lordy, here we go. Robyn is going to complain that her life is horrible right now. Her hopes and her dreams are snatched away from her. She doesn't know who she is. She doesn't know her identity and all that. She was pushing the other wives and all the kids aside. Push, because she assumed they're never going to leave. Because that was her example from Mama Alice. Mama Alice came in and decided to marry a man who was married to somebody else. And that other wife, although she didn't like it and was living in another state, that other wife refused to give up her position as first wife. So Robyn thought, these wives are never going to leave. I can push to get everything I want for myself and just act sweet and innocent. And I don't know when things don't work out. Now the fruits of her labor have come to fruition and she doesn't really like the harvest she's getting. Poor Robyn. Still a victim. Always a victim. And as she's falling apart in this puddle and whining and complaining, this is how Kody describes her.
Robyn's holding on to something. I've always said this woman has a spine of concrete and steel. And she's been holding on to the dream that I sold her on with my family for a lot longer. But I keep trying to go, let's move on. Let's let this go. Let's just tell ourselves it was never meant to be. It was never meant to work.
Kody's solution. I keep telling her, what's your problem, woman? Get it together. It was never meant to be. We were never supposed to be with those others. You know, those first 3 wives that you described as overweight with stretch marks? We don't need them. The OG kids, just in the way, taking up time. We've got our family here. I don't understand. What's the problem? Why are you so sad? On one hand, pull it together, woman. On the other hand, Robyn's Teflon and steel.
Make up your mind.
It's all about you.
This isn't what I envisioned my life to be. Everything that's going on is it's taken away all those choices for me. I'm struggling with my identity and what does it mean, and I don't see my future anymore. And the hopes and dreams that I had are just disappearing.
Me.
I have zero patience for that woman. In terms of Christmas, I love what Christine says, which I personally believe is a direct dig at Kody Brown. She said, "It is time for new traditions."
Especially with the big changes in family dynamic, it's time to do something a little bit different.
It's time to create some new traditions and some new things to have fun with and some new ways to celebrate that have nothing to do with how things used to be and everything to do with how you want them to be.
Not time to continue to do things we've done in the past, but to develop our new traditions. And they're going to be things that we really want to do. You know, Kody was making him celebrate this religion, this tradition, that tradition. He would never let them have an Easter egg hunt, God forbid. But he was worse before Robyn came in the family. Robyn came in the family. He's like, "Oh, you don't celebrate Easter? Oh, that's okay. I'll take my kids to my mom's house on Easter and you guys can do your thing because we celebrate Easter." Kody's like, okay. Well, no, we could probably do something for Easter. Whoa. Christmas, another thing. They didn't really celebrate Christmas. They got the pajamas from Meri, and they all made a special meal, which is fine. And they had the gift exchange where you draw one name. They didn't have a lot of money. I'm in complete agreement. I thought it was sweet, nice, and lovely. But they didn't really have Christmas decorations around in that. Kody was just against all of that. The commercialization of Christmas. Who cares? Just because you have a snowman in your front yard does not mean that you can't celebrate the birth of Jesus if that's what you want to do. You can. Somehow Kody thought they were mutually exclusive, and by having a shrinky-dink of Santa Claus in the window, you suddenly would not be deserving of entry into heaven or something. I don't know. I'm trying to guess why they couldn't do it. But then Robyn comes.
I get money, I spend money.
Big Christmases, lots of presents, stockings full of stuff, Christmas trees, and well, we've seen her house. It like vomits Christmas at Christmas time. Every single square inch of every surface space is covered in angels and Christmas decorations galore.
Let's take a look at some stuff that Robyn has.
Look at our little fairy wonderland for Christmas. My woman, she really likes her decorations. Angels, 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 Jesus, gingerbread houses.
Why does Robyn have to spend so much money on so much junk and collections?
She really likes her decorations.
Okay. She likes it. She wants it. She gets it.
Kody thinks it's great. So the OG3 just went along with it. They always did what Kody wanted to do, which was nothing at first and then everything Robyn wanted. So now they're setting their own Christmas traditions. And they're like, take that, Kody.
Let's take Christmas back.
To taking Christmas back.
All right, there was probably way more. These were the notes I was able to scribble down really quickly as I was watching it. But I know there were a couple times that I just gasped. So I'm going to go ahead, start editing this. But on Tuesday night, we will get together and we'll discuss this episode. So we can talk about anything that I forgot to mention here. I look forward to seeing you there. It's at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you, sister friends, for your time. I appreciate it. If you shoot me a comment and hit the like button on your way out the door, it really helps the channel. Take care, sister friends. Have a great day. Bye-bye.